Welcome to Lynda's Life Lessons with Happy Mind, Happy Life. Today we're going to discuss the differences between shame and guilt. So we're going to start with defining shame. It's a deep sense of embarrassment and worthlessness about yourself or your identity. It centers on the belief of being inherently flawed or inadequate as a person. Oftentimes you'll feel a lot of external judgment. You'll feel societal expectations, and you often compare yourselves to others. You may feel ashamed about your appearance, your background, your personal characteristics. Your internal dialogue may sound something like, I am a failure, I don't deserve love or happiness. Well, guilt, on the other hand, is a feeling of remorse or regret about a specific action, behavior, or mistake. So it's linked to a particular event or behavior that goes against your own values or morals. It could, an example could be feeling guilty for lying, hurting someone's feelings, or breaking a promise. Your internal dialogue may be, I shouldn't have done that, and I really need to go and make that right with someone. So let's talk again about the differences. So shame is about who we think we are or who we are, while guilt is about something we have done, so something intentionally done to someone else. Shame diminishes your self-worth, while guilt allows the acknowledgement of a mistake without devaluing yourself. Guilt can lead to constructive actions to make amends, while shame can be very, very paralyzing and foster avoidance behaviors. Guilt can promote learning and growth, while shame can actually hinder your personal development. So it's definitely essential to know the differences between the two, that way you're able to then cope with them more appropriately. And so what are some ways that we can deal with shame? Let's focus more on shame. With guilt, it's basically, if you feel guilty about something and you acknowledge it and you go to that person, you try to make amends, it's usually kind of done after that. And it's usually you're able to let that go. Shame, on the other hand, because it's about yourself and you feel inherently that you are flawed on some level for some reason, most of the time, not of anything in particular of you're doing, but you feel that way. So it can become very toxic as well, to where you really feel like you're just trapped in this self-loathing state. And you'll notice that it does become very paralyzing. You will, it kind of covers up who you are, and you become a shell of who you are or who you were. So, we want to get you out of that, and you want to be who you were always meant to be. So what are some things you can do? For me, obviously, I like the ART therapy, the Accelerated Resolution Therapy. There's a lot of interventions we can do with shame and trying to help you through that and out of that, and maybe find the root cause of that pretty quickly. But there are, of course, many, many ways. That just happens to be my favorite. Along with meditation is also one of my favorite things to do. I have been doing this more and more and more, and it truly helps to keep my whole person and my whole body calm. I take my blood pressure off, and just to take it because I have a blood pressure cuff at home, and it's always very, very low, very, very good. In other words, it's never high or above the range. It's typically below. And it makes me happy because I know that I'm keeping my whole person very calm. Whereas before, I lived in such a high anxiety state that my blood pressure was always high and I didn't even know it. But now that I'm able to meditate, have a lot of self-reflection, working on issues, or I've worked on issues from the past, I am just such a different person, so much more calm. And I can think straight, I can remember things. It's just so different. But shame and guilt is something that we all deal with, just being humans. It's nothing new. We're all going to deal with it at one time or another. But shame, however, it's a little word for a big thing, right? So when it hits us, sometimes it really stops us in our tracks, and it keeps us from growing. It keeps us from getting promotions. It keeps us from, having more children, getting married, having a relationship, whatever it may be. It really does hold you back. So definitely look forward to hearing from any of you. If you'd like to work on this or talk about this more, just leave me a comment below. Thank you.